You know, sometimes you want to just sing along with it, but then it kind of goes out. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Today is, what are we going to call today? Well, I've been driving around all day. I've been working the polls since about 9:30 this morning. No, I'm not going to tell you where. And it's been interesting because I have to call and check on what the numbers are at this particular poll to really see what's going on today. It's going to be a long day. And for all intent and purpose, I don't have an open for today. The reason being is I'm going to do open lines with the exception of my top 5 at 5. If anybody has been to the polls, what was it like? What were the numbers? What was the enthusiasm level? What was the energy that was in the room, right? I want to know the energy. I want to know what people were saying, what people were doing, you couldn't really talk, of course, but what do you think? I'm not asking for anybody to pontificate or prognosticate regarding the election. We don't know. We have no idea. I know I was reading where J.P. Morgan put out a statement of sorts that basically what's going to happen economically, depending on who wins. If Kamala Harris wins or if Donald Trump wins. Right? We've gotten to a point where people today are now majoring in the minor. They're looking at things about the election that have absolutely nothing to do with the election. We've gotten to the point where both sides are starting to nitpick. I've gotten to where people actually call me and say they don't like me because I won't take a side. I'm in the middle. But they think they know what side I'm going to choose or what side I'm going to not choose. They think that if you don't pronounce a name correctly, then that's going to matter in a vote when the only thing that's going to count is the vote. So if you do the Kamala or the Kamala, which is incorrect, or Vice President Harris, it's like people look for reasons to dislike and separate. And I just find that interesting. And so I say to myself, because, I talk to myself a lot, the unfortunate thing is I now have a microphone and a frequency, and YouTube, so I get to say what I'm thinking out loud. I didn't realize just how divided we were. Until I looked up what's going on in one town. Now, fun fact. What is the first town to open elections? Does anybody know? Right? Does anybody know where? Do you know, Jason? Where's the first place in America that votes?
Washington, D.C. Oh, that's not a state. Virginia.
Okay. So there's one place that opens at 12 midnight. Right? But what I think is it's a reflection of America. It's a reflection of how America is divided. Have you heard of a town called Dixville Notch?
Never in my life.
So Dixville Notch is a small town in the state of New Hampshire. What time do you think voting starts in Dixville Notch?
7 o'clock.
12:01 a.m. 12:01. So voting opens at midnight. What time do you think it closed? Right? This is election day. What time do you think it closed? It took place at Dixville's Tillotson House, and the township's election moderator stressed the importance of voting today. It's a small town. Everybody can get out. 100% of their voters come out to vote at midnight. So you might think you could get up early or take time off and go vote, but everybody shows up. Right? In 2020, Joe Biden won 100% of the votes in Dixville Notch. 100%. But yet, this time around, right? There was a change. There was a difference. You know, when I do that, my brain says, "Say there's a change. Say there's a difference," and then my brain goes, right? Because I'm trying to say change and difference at the same time, right? I guess my brain is sort of like the electorate around America, right? It's split. If I have a brain, but at some point, people look at Dixville Notch as a bit of a barometer of how America is. And it's unfortunate because guess how many people vote in Dixville Notch? How many people you think vote?
20,000.
20,000. Voting opened at midnight and it closed at 12:07 a.m. 7 minutes. That's how long it took for Dixville Notch to vote. Dixville Notch has a grand total of registered voters of 6. Out of the 6, 100% of them voted. All 6. 3 voted for Kamala Harris, and 3 voted for Donald Trump. In 2020, they only had 5 voters. That means somebody grew up or somebody moved there, right? They only had 5 voters. All 5 voters went to who? President Joe Biden. Is this a barometer? Not of how the election will go. I believe it's a barometer of America. That even in a town with as many residents as Dixville Notch has in terms of registered voters, they couldn't even get it right. But this is the way, and this is what democracy looks like. To vote, to be the first place in America to vote, and to come out 50-50. And that's the way we're going to have to look at this election today. It's unfortunate. 833-212-1017 is the number. Weaver, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Yes, it's crazy how you talk about the town of Dixville Notch and how they voted last night 3-3.
No, they voted
and
this morning.
Already Trump,
this morning.
Yeah, this morning at 12 o'clock.
Right.
And already Trump is talking about he's hundreds of thousands of votes ahead. So this is probably going to be one of the most contested elections ever. he's going to start suing and contesting if he ain't 100,000 votes ahead.
Well, Democrats will too.
Can you go over and get my phone up and check out the place, please?
Democrats will too. And I think that's a reflection of both sides wanting to win that bad.
Well, we know that both sides want to win real bad, but the truth of the matter is the people can't afford 4 years of a Donald Trump.
Well, that's what you believe. Yeah.
The people can't afford.
All right. So did you go to the poll or did you vote early?
I voted early.
Okay. And when you voted early, you stood in line? How long did it take you to vote?
No, I went downtown to the election office with an early ballot and turned it in downtown.
Okay.
At the courthouse.
Okay. How long ago was that? A month? 2 weeks?
About 3 weeks ago. It took me about 7 minutes to vote.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for living up to your civic duty and voting. And I guess in a few hours we're gonna find out.
Important.
Say what?
It's vitally important.
Yes, it is for every
us
American.
to vote. Whoever you vote for, that's your own choice. But you need to vote.
All right. Well, thank you much, Weaver. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Take care. And so clearly he's against Trump. He's voting for the vice president, and that's his prerogative and belief, and he represents him, right? That's his voice and he exercised his vote. And that's all I'm really asking people to do. Make your decision, vote, and be done. I'm not going to stress who to vote for, who not to vote for, who to support, who not to support on racial lines, on political lines, on any of that. And the reason I'm not going to do that is because in the end, we're going to have a president. In the end, somebody's going to win. And I've been alive long enough and had enough elections. I went online and looked up my election record for the past 10 years, back to 2015. And I saw every election, I believe, every election I voted in, every primary, every partisan, everything, every single vote. It's your prerogative to take advantage of people in America who have died for you to vote. Now, if you haven't gone to vote already, you have less than 4 hours to vote. You've got roughly an hour and 45 minutes to get to the polls. If you're in line already, at 8 o'clock, they will let you stay in line. But if you show up after 8 o'clock, you can't vote. If you want to register to vote, you're going to have something with your address, an ID card, driver license from the government, birth certificates, or whatever, right? So check online and see what you need if you need to register or if you need to change your voting place. Just make sure you do it early enough so that if you're going to the wrong place or if you moved or have to change your address, you get there before 8 o'clock so you can vote. But I think the most important elections occur on the off presidential, when you're voting for your common council, when you're voting for your governor, your county supervisor, your county executive, your common council members, school board, those things that affect your life directly, I believe, are more important. Now, I know people disagree, but for me, that's more important than the presidential election. Because everyone has always said on both sides of the aisle that if so-and-so won, I'm leaving, they ain't left. The world didn't crumble. Life didn't end. I don't think there'll be any rioting or any protesting or anything. You might have a skirmish here or there, but it's going to be nowhere near. You know why? Because we got to vote again in a couple of years. We got to vote for House of Representatives. We got to vote for another senator that's going to be coming up. Like all those things that are going to be happening that are going to affect your quality of life and how much money you have in your pocketbook. But we would rather be partisan at a time when we should be together. And instead of embracing your own vote, you bash other people for not being like you. You happen to live in America. You happen to live in a place where you really do need to respect other people's wishes and other people's beliefs and other people's choices. To the point where everybody that asked me, did you vote today? You know what I told them? None of your business. It's absolutely none of your business whether or not I voted. It's none of your business about who I voted for. Why? Because I live in America. But you know, the weird thing about it is just like Monday through Saturday repeats itself, next time we do this, you know what you get to call it? Same thing you called it today. Election Day.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
Truth Nation!
And all our juicy jammers out there.
Make certain that you tap into Jam with Juice each and every day so you can quench your thirst.
That is right. You already know you can sip on us every single day, like Benjamin said, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. But that's not all, y'all.
Catch us exclusively on YouTube for our 6 to 7 show.
Yep, only on Thursdays.
Catch Jamming with Juice each and every day on 1017 The Truth.
Now sip on that.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice, it's a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom, it's a right to have a child, it's a right to not have children, and this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds lights on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Your drink, sir?
This virtual vacation is brought to you by Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. For the full experience, visit flymke.com to explore our many nonstop destinations. With super convenient parking and low fares, flying from Milwaukee makes traveling so easy, it's like starting your vacation early. Fly easy, fly MKE.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
There's something about a plate of warm cookies that sends you back in time. Relive your childhood memories with this year's We Energies Cookie Book. Pick up your copy and start creating new memories. Go to WeEnergies.com to find a distribution event near you. Thank you for making us a part of your family traditions. From all of us at We Energies, we offer you warm wishes for a bright holiday season. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me check the talk and text line and check the YouTube chat to see what's going on in Milwaukee. What's going on at your polling place? Like, how's it looking? I want some boots on the ground. Tell me how it's going. Don't tell me where you are, right? Don't tell me where. But, man, why you keep bringing this in here for me to read stuff? They keep making me read stuff. What's that about? What's that about? Let me see what I need to read. By the way, you know today is election day, right? I know you've only been told 6,000 times a day for the last year, right? Well, we want to encourage you to get out and vote. Polls close at 8 o'clock. Tune in all day, right? You've been here since 7 o'clock. I was listening this morning. Everybody was interviewing Vice President Harris and all these other folks, John Legend and everybody. And that's cool because we want you to know everything about the 2024 presidential and the local elections. You've got a senatorial race going between Eric Hovde and the incumbent, Tammy Baldwin. Well, from 6 to 8, we'll hear our special Truth Summit roundtable. For y'all that missed it, we're going to give y'all a couple of little hits here and there. We got a panel, me, Sherwood Hughes, Jason Fields, State Senator Dora Drake. We had a pretty good discussion on the state of education and policy and even politics. Imagine that for Black Milwaukee. That's from 6 to 9, from 6 to 8, and then from 8 to 11, we're going to be simulcasting. I'll be joined by 620 WTMJ's John McCure. We're going to have wall-to-wall coverage of the 2024 election results. We'll be talking about it in relation to education, economics, policy, money, inflation, all those things. Make sure you stay tuned in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth all day for the rest of the day until 11 p.m. We're going to keep you informed and up to date on the election. So it'll be interesting to watch the numbers go through. It'll be interesting to see all the things that are going to be happening, and we'll wait and see. I mean, I think everybody thinks the world is going to come to an end and the world's going to blow up, but it's not. It's really not. Like, we've been here before, we've done this before, and this too will pass. And everybody's telling you how bad it'll be. And my question to you is, how do you know? This is what I ask people when they tell me that. And can you prove it? Like, show me what that is. That's all. We're going to get so-and-so. What's going to make you say that, right? J.P. Morgan Chase, right? J.P. Morgan, put out a blurb about what the economy is going to look like if Trump wins, what the economy is going to look like if Kamala Harris wins. And so what happens is, if Kamala Harris wins, the market is going to start to do and reflect those things that a Democratic administration would do, right? It's going to go more towards the environment. It's going to be more towards green. Those stocks that are going to be in that particular industry are going to probably start to rise. I'm prognosticating. I'm not an advisor. I don't give advice and all that. This is just what I think based on what J.P. Morgan Chase has been released. If Trump wins, it'll be more business-based, more industry, more electronics, AI, more manufacturing, things of that nature, right? The weird part about it is both of them will cause the market to do what? Have an initial dip and then go up. Why? Because that's what it always does. And so I'm starting to realize that it really may not matter who's president in relation to the market. If that's how you look at the world economically. If you look at the world politically, if you look at the world through who you hang out with, what region you live in, it's a different thing. It's a different time. I love it. God gave me 2 thumbs, one given to the truth with Sherwin Hughes and the other to jamming with Juice. Oh, well, I guess I can't thumbs up this episode. That is perfectly fine. It's your prerogative. It's like people, instead of telling you, yeah, I don't like what you said because you didn't pick a side or you didn't do this, you didn't do that, they throw blurbs in like that, right? Be straightforward. Be straightforward. How will America look in 4 years? Don't pontificate because you hate that particular person that you, well, it's going to look like this because if Kamala Harris wins, it's going to, no, what will it look like for you? Well, I hate that because, you know, if Trump wins and he got convicted and he's a felon, and what will it look like for you? What is your expectation if a particular person wins? Because no matter what, you're going to have you're going to have an expectation for who wins. You should. I don't care who's in the White House. I need to know these particular things are going to happen and be taken care of, or we got to do whatever we need to do to get rid of you or make sure you don't win re-election. Right? So either stop you from getting in, but if you can't stop him from getting in, stop him from getting reelected. Like those kinds of things. Concrete ideas on what I want to look like in 4 years. If I got to take care of my family, if I got to take care of my community, I got to take care of me first. Right? That's all I'm saying. 833-212-1017 is the number. We got Talking Text. We got Sandra. We got your call right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth in the Afternoon. Traffic, sports. We got weather. We got all that stuff. We got everything up next.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
I'm done voting for Democrats this year. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Senator Baldwin's policies have crushed Black Americans. We are paying more for food, clothes, and everyday items than ever. It's harder than ever to find affordable housing. Democrats say defund the police. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Who pays the price when there aren't enough cops on the street? Whose neighborhood gets violent? We see that violence and pay that price, not people in the suburbs. It's folks like us trying to go to work, take care of our kids, live our lives, wondering if something's going to happen on our block. How about jobs? Democrats let 12 million illegal aliens come here the last 4 years. Who are they taking jobs from? Not people in the suburbs. They take those jobs from us. I'm done voting for Democrats this year.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Hovde for Wisconsin.
It's your girl Noni Juice here from my people at Steinhafels. And you guys, Black Friday furniture and mattress savings, they start right now at Steinhafels. You can get all the latest looks at the season's best prices, like mattresses starting at just $199, recliners at $449, sofas at $499, and more. Plus, you can pay with Steinhafels' special 18-month 0% financing when you purchase $799 or more. No money down, no hidden fees. Shop Steinhafels' Black Friday savings now, in store or online at steinhafels.com.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Join Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation for Marketplace Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development, December 11th and 12th. Register at marketplacewisconsin.com.
Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
We do have an accident on eastbound 94 right about at Hawley Road. Left lane is blocked. Please be extra careful heading past this scene because all of the drivers have stepped out of their cars and are just standing around. All it takes is for one car out of control to go through that area, and they do not have their cars to protect them. So please be very careful heading through there. Really, you're supposed to stay in your car. Other than that, we've got delays basically from the zoo to that point at Hawley Road. Westbound slowing down out of the Marquette to Hawley Road as well. Southbound on 41, backups from Good Hope Road all the way down to Capitol Drive. Southbound 43, slow from Locust all the way down to the KK River crossing. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, breezy, cooler, mostly cloudy, a low of 46, and tomorrow partly cloudy with a high of 55. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Kyle Wallace. The Green Bay Packers took a tough loss on Sunday to divisional rival, the Detroit Lions, falling 24-14. The Packers are now off this week for a bye week, but will return next week as they prepare for another divisional rival, the Chicago Bears. The Milwaukee Bucks were in Cleveland last night as they took on the Cavaliers without star player Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Bucks were looking to end their 5-game losing streak. Damian Lillard went for 36 points, but that was not enough as the Bucks fell to the Cavs 116-114, extending their losing streak to 6 games straight. Now the Bucks on the season are 1-6 after that loss. The Bucks do look to bounce back this Thursday night as they host the Utah Jazz at Fiserv Forum. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. and can be heard on our sister station, 620 WTMJ. This True Sports Update was brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. This is why you need to stay here for up-to-the-minute information. Channel 12, WISN, TV 12, and CNN are reporting that while we're awaiting the first poll closings as voting continues nationwide, Milwaukee is reporting that there is a 30,000 absentee ballot recount that has to take place. And we don't know why, and we're trying to find out why. So 620 WTMJ News Center is working with that, and as I get information, I will get it to you. But right now, there is a 30,000 absentee ballot recount that is now occurring in Milwaukee. And I'm trying to find out and get information on exactly why that's happening. 833-212-1017 is the number. Sandra, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Okay. Hi.
Hey.
It's me. I'm back again.
How are you?
How you doing?
I was just talking about you today to somebody. Okay. I was like, where's Sandra? I ain't talked to her. How's your daughter?
I'm here. She's still in and out.
Okay.
This is her 5th time, so she's in and out. So they're still working on her.
All right. Mm-hmm. How you doing?
Typical mother, I guess. I'm kind of a strange kind of mother. I think I babble in a lot of, things. And So I would say I'm doing good.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
But remember, we're always here for you to vent.
Oh, well, you know I'm going to vent. Oh, yeah, I vent politics. It don't slow me down with that. I just haven't had a chance to do my homework so I can get on some of this stuff.
Well,
a lot of stuff I'm hearing is not right.
Well, you got 3.5 hours to do it because polls close at 8 o'clock.
Well, I mean, I'm not even just thinking about now. I'm thinking about the future, too. So I got a lot of homework to do.
Well,
and
but you can't do the homework until after the election.
Well, I'm not worried about that now. That's here. So this is going to be over in a few minutes. Now the homework comes to start getting into everything, the political scene, and why this come about. And like say our branches of the government, how, the laws are made and stuff like that. Because I got a lot to learn because like I told you about my son in prison. Now he's sick. Now I got a lot to learn that way because they changed this. They changed the visiting hours and all that stuff. Before you could go see him, now you gotta make 2 days advance before you can see him.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Right.
And it's a lot to learn with this, just say the United States, because that's where I am. I'm here. It's a lot to learn, a lot to get our kids up and out, because my kids don't like, they don't even like to talk about it. They really don't, because I don't think they really were into the problem where you get so much uproar between the races and this and that, like, because they went to school, with everybody. And they always, thought everybody was kind and friendly to each other.
Okay.
And we got big divisions there. So no, I'm gonna be calling because I got some work to do. I'm gonna be your next sister to Sherwin Hughes. I'll get my encyclopedia out. I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right.
Just give me a minute.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, then. So I'll be listening and watching the voting.
All right.
Machines go. Okay, then.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
You too.
833-212-1017 is the number. Winky Blue, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What's up?
Hey, good afternoon to you, my man. So much went on, it just knocked my brain, knocked my thoughts out, especially when I heard somebody say 30,000 recount in Milwaukee early voters. I mean, some already rotten in the cotton smell like, man, I don't know. But that ain't what I called for. I had to ask you a question. And the question was pertaining to the conversation that was prior to that.
Okay.
Oh, man, I'm embarrassed, man. I'm having a brain fart right now because that I had to ask you a question. Hey, Dr. Ken, if you would allow me to call you back, man, if it come back to my mind. It's something to do with the election, though.
All right. Sounds good.
Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you.
833-212-1017 is the number. Winky Blue is having a senior moment, as we all do. Even when we Jason's age, we have a senior moment. Wait, what? I think y'all invented that to put in social media when younger people have a senior moment. They go, wait, what? Trying to make sure. Okay, I'm trying to remember what they said. What did they say? 833-212-1017 is the number. Yeah, we're going to be monitoring that. Because it's already made national news. And so, of course, I'll do my top 5 at 5. I've got a story about the city attorney here in Milwaukee, the former city attorney who had been charged, and they're talking about it, and there's some changes in that as well. So there's a lot going on today. There's a boatload of things going on today, and we're just going to sit back and watch what's going on. And it's going to be interesting. I'll be on 1017 The Truth and 620 WTMJ tonight from 8 till 11. My Truth Summit's going to be not rerun, but aired between 6 and 8. So you'll get to listen to little old me. And we also want to remind you that it's Big Week for Educators Credit Union during College Scholarship Month on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Tap into Truth Be Told with DT and Telly tomorrow at 8 a.m. They'll be joined by Victor Frazier, Director of Community Engagement at Educators Credit Union. They'll be highlighting the $70,000 in scholarships Educators Credit Union gives to 35 outstanding high school seniors in southeastern Wisconsin. You won't want to miss the interview. That's tomorrow, Wednesday at 8 a.m. on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
I just wanted to say, after this voting, everything is going to work out. Hopefully, we can have more business owners, more more people who invent stuff, more creators, but whatever it is, we've been through the worst of the worst, and the goal is to move forward. But what I wanted to end it is it costs to drive, it costs to eat. And if we're tired of that, maybe you shouldn't drive. If the food get too expensive, maybe grow your own. But there's going to be an expense for whatever you do. And some things we are not going to be able to have control over. So I know we're talking about, food going up, gas going up. If it's something you want or it's a habit you want, you're going to have to pay for it one way or another, or you might just have to make a sacrifice. So I just wanted to share that information, and, hey, there's only one way to go is forward versus looking backwards.
So let me ask you a question, Al. Hang on.
Sure.
Let me ask you a question. So does it make sense for black people to start to own their own infrastructure? Energy companies, hospitals, gas?
I think that would be a wonderful thing. They just have to put in the work. They just have to read. And I'm not saying everybody has to work together, but try to either find that one person with the same vision of yours and try to make it happen, because we're so divided. And I know things can't be done on a community base, but if we can start owning and controlling, we can make some things happen. Prime example, you get maybe 2 people, maybe 3 at the most. Start buying up all the houses in your neighborhood, because now you can control what comes in, what goes out. If you own part of that neighborhood and you start building that money together, you can put that in a business and make it a corporation, and then you can expand off of that. So when you do get so much money and then you decide to get in the political race, or you want to try to control something, you will have the money, the patent to control it. But we got to be willing to put in the work, and we got to read, because a lot of times we don't read the stuff we should be reading, and the stuff we shouldn't be reading is the most important stuff we should be reading. And then that will save money on attorneys, because the only thing they're going to do is look at stuff you didn't read.
Very true. All right. Well, thank you much.
All right. Have a good day. All right. Bye-bye.
833-212-1017 is the number. Let me see if I can squeeze them in again. Winky Blue, you remember?
Yes, man, I remember.
All right.
You were asking a question. What will America look like henceforth? Now, on that ballot,
what will America look like in 4 years?
Okay, I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
If we vote, now the amendment question for your Constitution.
Right.
Okay, what did it say? It said, do you think that non-citizens should be able to vote or keep the Constitution the same according to our 1-1, whatever it was, right? So the real question is, should we keep the Constitution the same? But most people going to put no, because they're saying we don't want non-citizens to vote. So if everybody votes no, I can tell you what 4 years going to look like. The black man will be replaced, because they want non-citizens can vote. So you will be obsolete, black man that's playing games, black woman. You will be obsolete, and they doing it in your face. They put it on the ballot in front of you and got it tricked up there, so you will go for it and say, okay. So if you just look at that amendment, if you vote yes, that's to keep the Constitution the same. Am I right, Dr. Ken?
I'd have to read it, and I'm looking right now for the actual verbiage.
Dr. Ken, that's a heavy piece, man. That is a heavy piece.
I'm reading. I'm trying to find it so I can actually read it, so I can answer your question.
Okay.
Yep, I'm looking for it.
Right. And that's what 4 years and 4 years will look like.
All right. Well, thank you much.
Please read it to the people, because we still got some people out there got to go vote, man.
All right. Appreciate it. 833-212-1017 is the number. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, our first Truth Summit was a great success, and if you missed this exclusive roundtable, we got great news for you. We'll be broadcasting the Truth Summit on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th from 6 to 8 p.m. I was joined by Sherwin Hughes, Jason Fields, and State Senator Dora Drake for a live debate on the state of education policy and politics in Black Milwaukee. Again, Truth Summit broadcast Tuesday, November 5th between 6 and 8 on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice is a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom, it's a right to have a child, it's a right to not have children, and this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds lights on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Get the look you want for your home with customizable windows and doors from Pella. The durability of materials gets tested tens of thousands of times to ensure they last for years to come. Pella offers custom colors and innovative features like shades between the glass. And right now, celebrate Gina Della's 60th birthday with 0 for 60. Put 0 down, get 0 interest for up to 60 months. Hold your appointment on or before November 8th. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
Cousin Subs is spicing things up this fall with a new sub and a delicious shake. The Chipotle Cheesesteak Sub with either grilled-to-order chicken or steak features pepper jack cheese, sautéed green peppers and onions, jalapenos, and Chipotle ranch dressing. And that's not all. Pair your Chipotle Cheesesteak with a new pumpkin pie shake and your taste buds will fall in love. Order in-store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices. Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. A couple things I want to run by you. WISN.com is reporting 30,000 absentee ballots need to be retabulated at the city's central count at the Baird Center, city officials said. The doors to several tabulator machines were not closed properly. We're going to zero them all out again, 13 machines around, and then rerun the ballots that had already been processed, said Jeff Fleming of the Milwaukee mayor's office. It is going to extend the time that we will get the totals. We don't know how much longer. So just so you know that they're going to be recounting those. We reported that earlier from WISN TV 12 and CNN. So that's one of the things we're going to be working on. We're going to be tracking the votes today for the election. And I got to squeeze this caller in. Fitzgerald, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ken. I appreciate the question.
Okay.
And I would say that technology in the next 4 years will have a huge impact where we will see more driverless automated equipment within our living structure. So driverless cars.
Okay.
Robotics. We're definitely going to be impacted by that and see it. The second thing I would say is that the demographics of this country, 4 more years, folks who on the cohort that are older, they continue to pass on. This country becomes more and more of a different ethnic group in terms of, black folks, Hispanic folks.
Okay, so what do you think that'll be? But no. But what do you think it'll be? What ethnic group do you think it'll turn to?
Well, Hispanics, that cohort is increasingly becoming more and more a majority in different pockets of the country. That's going to continue, and it's not based on just if people think folks are just flowing into the country. I'm saying in the sense of folks procreating, and that's what's going to bring more Hispanic folks, more other ethnic groups, Asian folks. You're going to see more, especially in different parts of the country.
Okay.
It's a huge shift when you go to places like Houston or places. Man, it looks like a different world down there. Oh. So those are two things right there.
All right.
That will 4 years from now, it don't matter who's president. Those things are going to take place.
Okay. Thank you much, Fitzgerald. Appreciate it. 833-212-1017 is the number from 620 WTMJ. Mike Spalding, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Ken, how are you?
I'm good. So I heard this 30,000 absentee ballots, and I kind of got a bit of an update, but what exactly happened?
So a bit of a snafu this morning, actually, at this central count facility in the Baird Center downtown Milwaukee.
Which is like right up the street around the corner.
Right down the street from us.
Okay.
So here's what we know. We know that 13 ballot counting boxes themselves were not properly sealed. So if you're looking at what a ballot tabulation box looks like, it is going to look like an ATM sort of, but on the back door of it, there is going to be, it's not an FDIC kind of sticker, but there's going to be a sticker that says if this is tampered with, you need to either not count the ballots or realize that something is wrong. From our understanding, 13 of those boxes at the central count location in Milwaukee were discovered either to have a faulty sticker, not to have a sticker, the sticker was cut, whatever it is, that sticker was tampered with. So the boxes themselves are not able to be quote unquote legitimate when counting ballots. So what we're seeing right now is all the ballots being taken out of those boxes, the computers being cleared off of those boxes, recalibrated, as the city of Milwaukee is calling it right now, and those 30,000 ballots will be issued back through those 13 machines to just confirm that everything is on the up and up. We don't know how long that's going to take. Again, these ballots were counted at about 8:30 this morning. This issue was discovered around 9 a.m., so not quite sure how long. We were already expecting a long night. You can anticipate this is going to make it a little bit longer of an evening.
So are we talking about the box that they came in or the box that's in the back of the machine that you feed it into?
Into the back of the machine that you feed it into.
Okay.
Yes.
And so because that's not closed, and I remember because I was working at the polls.
Oh, yeah.
The machine has to be closed and sealed.
Yes.
And only when it's done, closed, and totaled out, then you pull them out the back.
Yes. So that's not to say this wasn't closed and locked. It just didn't have the sticker on it. Yes, the seal was.
So those 13 machines need to take roughly 2,300 ballots each
Yes.
to do it.
Yes.
All right.
We'll update you when we figure out what's going on. Maybe we'll learn a bit more about what happened to those stickers.
Thank you much. Mike Spalding from 620 WTMJ, our sister station. 833-212-1017 is the number. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. Top 5 at 5 up next.
It started with a prediction.
Go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Hi there, this is Pastor Richard D. Shaw of the St. Matthew CME Church, encouraging you to vote in this upcoming election. Your vote is your power. Every ballot counts and matters. Your vote shapes the future and can impact generations to come. Don't wait, get engaged, and get to the polls. Voting is not just your right, it's your opportunity to impact your community and inspire others. So rally your friends and family and let's create the change we want to see. Vote early or vote the day of. Just vote and be heard.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD, and many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child can focus on are the thoughts racing through their head.
Why am I always falling behind? Why do I feel so alone? So different.
Your child is looking to you for answers. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do. Visit understood.org/the-reason to get started.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Out east, the polls close in about an hour. Most of them close around 7 o'clock. So in 58 minutes from now, Georgia and most of the eastern states' polls will be closing. I told you about the New Hampshire vote, right? They got less than 1% in statewide. So I don't know why we're showing first results, right? The first results came from that little podunk town in New Hampshire where it was 50-50 Harris and Trump. So I don't know. Yeah. It's happening already. We got a $30,000, I wish, a 30,000 recount of ballots for Milwaukee because of a faulty machine, and they're going to redo those. That's about 2,300 ballots you got to feed through each machine. Yeah, that's going to take a while, but you know how it is. In the meantime,
number 5.
Ooh, just made it. Now I got to come up with something silly. For every little slight, like you got to smoke a cigar. No, you got to buy a cigar for me. I'm not going to smoke it, but you got to buy it.
I got you, Dr. Ken.
Okay. Just like all them dinners. You owe me some too now. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it. I might owe you more, but I'm just saying. Believe it or not, from Fox6Now.com, 3 people were arrested at the Pleasant Prairie Premium Outlets. You know where those are? On Sunday, October 26th, who police say already robbed one store and were planning to rob another store at the outlet mall. According to Pleasant Prairie Police Department, officers got information according to a national retail theft group responsible for a theft at Nike department store in Oshkosh. It was anticipated the group would then go target the Nike store at the premium outlet mall. And so upon arriving at the shopping center, officers verified the information and identified the vehicle that matched the suspect's description. They arrested the people and recovered $3,000 worth of stolen material. Right? Right? During the post investigation, officers learned that these people were connected to a larger Peruvian national group responsible for retail thefts totaling more than $54,000 across multiple states: New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maine, Virginia, Massachusetts, Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, Nebraska, Iowa, Michigan, Utah, Nevada, and Wisconsin. All 3 men were arrested for receiving or possession of stolen property valued between $2,500 and $5,000 as party to a crime, in addition to outstanding out-of-county warrants. So, how? So what we need to find out now is, what's your immigration status? Are you here legally? Illegally? Is this Peruvian group a group of people who came here illegally and came through Mexico and entered the United States? Those kind of things. But nobody will want to know that. No, that doesn't matter. Yeah, it matters a great deal. This is what your next few years are going to look like, because the people that came over the border are still here and are unaccounted for. And we're pretending like that's not a big deal. So when the caller, who was it? Was it Fitzgerald that said that what we're going to look like in 4 years, it'll be mainly Hispanic, right? Just like they used to point to black people when black people committed crimes and said, hey, y'all be careful, because if you keep up doing what you're doing. Now watch this. This is not a slam on Hispanic people, not by any stretch of the imagination. What it is that you have to be careful how people come into the country. I don't care who you are. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, if you're from Africa, I don't care. Haiti, I don't care. You have to make sure how you come into the country and make sure that it's done legally. That's all. And these might be citizens of the United States of America, for all we know. It would be, wait a minute, didn't the mob do stuff like this? You know, a bunch of white people got together and did this. Yeah, okay. I just wonder. It must be a human nature thing. I don't know. Must be human nature.
Number 4.
From Politico.com, the impact of black voters has been heavily scrutinized in 2024. A question is whether this voting bloc, which historically breaks overwhelmingly for Democrats, showing signs of fracturing. Vice President Kamala Harris seeking to make history as the first black and Indian American woman to win the White House could also face the highest number of defections among black voters in decades. Politico deployed reporters to 5 battleground states to talk to black voters. Campaign says she's exhausted every tool in her arsenal to reach them. She hobnobbed with Oprah, released an opportunity agenda with specifics on how her economic plan will benefit black men, and sat with podcasters. All the smoke, Club Shay Shay, the Shade Room, to reach audiences outside traditional media echo chamber. She even deployed Barack and Michelle Obama to campaign for her. So Eric Holder was in West Philadelphia on Friday. Got an earful. Former Attorney General was urging a barbershop full of mostly black men to vote for Harris. Trump, he said, promoted the racist birther lie about Barack Obama and discriminated against black tenants. Harris, on the other hand, was part of an administration that oversaw growth of 2.6 million jobs for black workers and the lowest black unemployment rate on record. But Mario Jeffries, who was standing on the side waiting for a haircut, rattled off reasons why he wasn't seeing that progress. He said, inflation is super high, food is high, everything's high. I don't know what community is getting better. It's definitely not ours. But Jeffries still said he'd cast a ballot for Harris because Trump returning to the White House was a non-starter. He said, if an alien came down right now, I'd vote for him. Suleiman Hassan, a barber, remains on the fence about both candidates. In his view, Democrats aren't talking enough about the opioid epidemic. Trump, he said, put his friend who documented the crisis in the city's Kensington neighborhood on stage at the Republican National Convention. But Holder warned, I think you got to be careful dismissing Trump as a good salesman, but not someone who will govern in a way that helps black voters. Another man who declined to share his name with the reporter walked into the barbershop while listening to... Hang on a second. Dismissed Trump as a good salesman. Where was I? Another man. Sorry, I got interrupted by my producer. Another man who declined to share his name with the reporter walked into the barbershop while listening to Joe Rogan, his recent interview with J.D. Vance on his phone. He said he was voting for Trump because as a Muslim, he opposes abortion. So those are the broad things we're starting to see, and the pushback that we're getting on both sides, and I guess the deal's going to be closed tonight. Like in less than an hour, we're going to be able to get things done in a way that will either benefit the Democratic Party or will benefit the Republican Party.
Number 3.
Well, the RNC saw no issues after suing Milwaukee over poll watcher restrictions. You know, we talked about that the other day. In court, Judge Michael Hanrahan said he was troubled by the timing of the RNC's lawsuit, which was filed like hours before Election Day, and they've heard of no issues. And so the lawsuit revolves around poll watchers, and the city basically said you get one of each. That's it. If you got 2, then you get 2 of each. But this overloading and putting people in are saying that because we limited you to 1 at some sites, that's terrible. Well, the judge said you're blowing smoke. And so that's exactly what they got, smoke. And I mean, it makes sense, right? In the end, that's all that's going to matter.
Number 2.
From JS Online, former city attorney Chairman Spencer did not get his criminal charges tossed. He failed to get 2 criminal charges tossed during his appearance in Milwaukee County Circuit Court today. Spencer, 67, was criminally charged last month, accused of using his public position to gain a dishonest advantage in a dispute with another city department over a facility where his cars were stored. And so he was defeated in April, facing charges of felony misconduct in office and resisting or obstructing an officer, a misdemeanor. If convicted on both, he could face up to 4 years in prison and fines of up to $20,000. So we will be watching that as time goes on and as we move forward with what's going on in the election today. It's interesting that we're going to really be watching these things closely.
Number 1.
From WISN.com, we talked about it earlier, breaking news, about 30,000 Milwaukee absentee ballots need to be retabulated. 13 machines are going to be zeroed out, and they're going to be looked at because they miscounted and they don't know whether or not they were sealed properly. And so he decided that he's going to do that. And so they're going to be at the Baird Center tonight, and they don't want questions about recounts. And so, again, breaking news, 30,000 Milwaukee absentee ballots will need to be retabulated. Election officials say 13 machines will be zeroed out and ballots returned. 833-212-1017 is the number. Evidently, I have a call on the line, which is, I don't know if it's shocking or surprising. Donald Trump Jr., how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm good. How are you?
Keeping busy. Running around like a crazy person, just making sure that everyone gets out and votes. I know, in Wisconsin, you have till 8 o'clock to get in line, and if you get in line and stay in line, we can win this thing. So I encourage people to do that.
So did you hear about the 30,000 Milwaukee absentee ballots that are going to have to be recounted because of the sealing on the machines?
Yes, I did. Obviously, not ideal, but it's also why it's so critical for everyone to get out there to vote. I think what we have to do is we have to overwhelm whatever nonsense is going to happen in these places. It seems like the GOP has great control over a lot of that right now. They've filed all the lawsuits. They've gotten Republican poll watchers in all the places. This shadiness only seems to happen in these swing states, and it only seems to go one way. So I think, if you're serious about winning, if you want to save your country, you just got to overwhelm that. So you got to get out and vote. You got to bring your friends. If Trump can do what he's been doing for the last few years, if he can take a bullet, people can get in line and wait for half an hour or an hour or 2 hours or 10 hours. If you wait a couple hours, it's certainly worth a lot more than a couple years of a disastrous Kamala Harris economy, war, and everything else the Democrats stand for these days.
So a lot of listeners at 101.7 The Truth, we're known as Milwaukee Black Talk, and many of them are going to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. Why would someone want to consider Donald Trump after some of the things that have happened and things they've heard and convictions, things of that nature?
Well, I think the vast majority of those things have been totally debunked and disproven. You saw, even Barack Obama was still running with the lies about Charlottesville. And the reality is this: people have to be concerned about the economy. Does anyone genuinely believe that they're better off today than they were 4 years ago under Trump? The economy is a disaster. The job numbers are a disaster. We're on the brink of World War III, and that all happened quickly in 4 years. She's not a candidate of change. If she was a candidate for change, she would have actually done these things already. And she hasn't. Why wouldn't you? Why would you wait till January 20th? You're the vice president to the most absentee president in the history of our country. That would have been a great opportunity to do these things. But the reality is she hasn't actually shared her policies. She'll run one policy in one place where it benefits her, and she'll say the exact opposite as she's done, in Michigan and Pennsylvania. And so you just don't know the candidate that you're going to get, but you do understand where you're living. People do feel it every day when they go to the grocery store, when they go to the gas pump, or when they turn on the news and we find out, we're at war in the Middle East and we're spent $250 billion right now into Ukraine, and no one knows why we're even fighting it or in it. My father can solve those problems. There's a reason he was able to get peace deals done in the Middle East. He was able to grow the economy. He was able to grow the economy for the lowest income earners. Those people saw real wage growth. That's all gone because of the Biden-Harris inflation, the cost of living crisis that the Harris and Biden administration has created. So she's trying to pretend like she hasn't been a part of this administration, but the reality is the radical leftist policies that she's pushed her entire career are a huge cause of a lot of the problems that we're facing. So the media has done a lot to try to gaslight the American public and pretend like she's new here. She doesn't have policies. She has decades of policy. She has decades of decisions. But like everything else, they're hiding that from the American public.
But you have to look at it like this. Mike Pence was the vice president to President Donald Trump. Would it have been appropriate for Mike Pence to override or try to direct something your father was doing? Would that have been appropriate for the Vice President Harris to do that to Biden?
Well, she didn't do that to Biden. She didn't even get to that point where people are allowed to question results.
But is it appropriate for a vice president
results
to do
in America?
But is it?
She did it to Joe Biden. She's the nominee. She's the nominee that got 0 votes. She wasn't in a Democrat primary. They didn't put it up to anyone. She was installed in there. They threw him out like a dog overnight, and they put her in there without a single vote. So if we want to talk about a democratic process, I don't think that. I think that's a terrible example to use. Has one person before today voted for Kamala Harris to be the Democrat nominee? And the answer is no. She was placed there without a process. Don't forget, she ran in 2020 in the Democratic primary, and she got less than 1% of the vote. So I imagine the Democrats believed there were other people that were a lot better. That's from her own party, but they didn't allow that to happen.
But don't we vote for vice president?
They threw him out.
Well, but wait a minute. Don't we vote for vice president, and the vice president is voted in specifically so that if something happens to the president, they go in? Does it matter if you're running the country? Well, does it matter if you're running the country, or does it matter if you're running a race? Does it matter?
Well, it matters before a primary. They went through an entire primary process. It wasn't even finished. That's for people to decide at a convention, but they didn't do that. Not a single person voted for her.
Okay.
It'd be one thing if he was declared the nominee and then something happened to him and then she was taking over because that was what it was. But that's not at all what happened. They just installed her. They didn't let people decide. Millions of people cast votes for Joe Biden and not for her.
But they knew that Joe Biden's
before the nomination, before the convention. They didn't let anyone decide. That's the least democratic process I've ever seen in my life.
But they knew that Joe Biden's number 2 was Kamala Harris, right?
But that's not how primaries work. Joe Biden's the guy on the ticket. Joe Biden's the guy on the ticket. He chooses his vice president. It may have been her, but they weren't voting for that, and so they threw him out. They installed her, and maybe there was someone that could have done a lot better, but they didn't allow that to happen. So,
well, they didn't throw him out.
I don't want to hear about the democratic process from the Democrats.
He did withdraw. They didn't throw him out. I mean, he did withdraw.
Well, he didn't just walk away. I'm sure there were backroom deals made. I don't think anyone actually believes that. But the reality is that was still weeks before the Democrat convention. Those things are contested at times. They tried to do that to my father in 2016. They wanted to contest it on the floor and allow the people to decide. Now, he happened to actually then win that. But that didn't happen with Kamala Harris. They just said, she's the nominee. Congratulations. She can take all this. She can take all the money that was raised for Joe Biden specifically. It's a little, those are different rules. And I guess, they can do what they want. That's what happened. But let's not talk about a democratic process because there was none in this process.
So what are you expecting from the state of Wisconsin tonight?
Listen, I expect, I think good things. I mean, the reality, like I said, you've lived 4 years under both of these administrations, and I'd ask people to ask themselves, when were they better off? When was the world better off? When were we not at war? When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him. You have Elon Musk, one of the smartest people of our generation, maybe the smartest person of our generation. He's the Einstein of our era. He wants to come in and help create the efficiencies, create the jobs, get rid of the government bureaucracy to allow our economy to thrive. You look at the other people that are surrounding him, so much of the same. You look at Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I don't know. I don't see a lot of sensible people saying, Tim Walz, who put tampons in boys' bathrooms, is going to be a great guy for the economy or for anything else that's common sense. Then you look at the things that my father accomplished in his first administration. As if you're in Milwaukee, whether it's the First Step Act, whether it's all the things he did for the inner cities to allow growth to happen in those communities, these are all very positive things for that community. The funding of historically black colleges, he doesn't get any credit for that. The media doesn't talk about those things because they don't want to give Trump credit for these things. But I think there's a reason right now, if I go around the country, the number of African-American men that I end up taking selfies with is unlike anything I've ever seen before. Per capita, it may be the largest group. I think they understand what's going on. They see it every day. They see the crime. They see what's going on with illegal immigration. And they know my father's going to end all of that nonsense. It's going to allow those communities to thrive again.
All right. Well, thank you much, Donald Trump Jr. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
833-212-1017 is the number. You heard him. Your thoughts. Up next.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call, That's All Gruber Cash giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call, That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call, That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year, 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
Your drink, sir?
This virtual vacation is brought to you by Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. For the full experience, visit flymke.com to explore our many nonstop destinations. With super convenient parking and low fares, flying from Milwaukee makes traveling so easy, it's like starting your vacation early. Fly easy, fly MKE.
Milwaukee faces significant wealth gaps, but change is possible. Join entrepreneur Arlo Washington on November 13th for a transformative discussion on building wealth in underserved communities. Featured in the Oscar-nominated documentary The Barber of Little Rock, Washington's insights are a must-hear. Attend for free, in person or online. Get your ticket at uwm.edu/SCE. Sponsored by the Tommy G. Thompson Center on Public Leadership and hosted by UWM School of Continuing Education.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by American Family Insurance. Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yo, this is Queen Latifah, bringing a song to you about a place you might live. In case you don't understand, it's called New Jack City. In case you still don't understand, I brought along the Burton troops to kick the ballistics. Come on.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Let me check the talk and text line. Hey, Dr. Ken, how are you, my friend? And then somebody put at 519, EH said, you mean a less democratic process than what his father tried on January 6th? Stop your whining, Junior. Wow, you sure can tell the difference between the entitled and the ones who really want to do something good for our country. Trump Jr., I think you need to call another station to convince them Dr. Ken isn't a fool. The fact that your father's getting away with crimes is not the way things are supposed to go. And then, once again, spouting all the BS. Stop it already. Learn to pronounce Vice President Harris's name. Unbelievable. But again, are we really going to rest our argument on whether or not somebody said the name correctly? If that were the case, Barack Hussein Obama would not be the president of the United States because they kept using the word Hussein as if to make it sound like he was a Muslim and not American. When in fact, I think it actually helped him. So it's just, yeah. I mean, you know, with all due respect, because the people didn't vote for her and the party put her up to run, the delegates voted. So that's all that really counts. The people have the delegates and the delegates go in. Right? And Terry said, why haven't any ex-presidents endorsed his dad? Well, I don't know if any ex-presidents, I think what happens in those cases is many times Republicans stay away from people that are running for president. Democrats do the opposite. They call out the big guns, and that's part of their strategy. But they don't usually, in my years, I don't remember a boatload of Republicans coming out to endorse Bush. So I don't think any of them supported Donald Trump when he ran the first time either. Not a lot voted for old man Bush. Trying to think. Definitely not Nixon. So, yeah. But yeah, good one. I mean, there were things Mike Pence wanted to do, and he didn't overstep President Trump. So why would you expect Kamala Harris to overstep Joe Biden? She's in the number 2 position. So America would have to vote for you to take the president's place. If you're taking his place as president, don't you think it would be okay to take his place as running for the office? I'm just saying. It just, like, the logic doesn't make any sense. But anyway, you've got about 2.5 hours before the polls close here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 833-212-1017 is the number. The first polls are going to be closing in about an hour and a half. New Jersey, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Tennessee, and the totals are starting to come in. Of course, we talked about New Hampshire, this little small burg coming in at 50-50, and only 1% is in, less than 1%. So we shall see. 833-212-1017 is the number. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon, traffic, sports, and weather up next.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At Milwaukee College Prep, they believe that every child deserves a chance to reach their full potential. Unfortunately, in Milwaukee, this is not always the case. Research shows the educational opportunity gap between white and black students is twice the national average. This is why Milwaukee College Prep is committed to eliminating this gap. In fact, MCP scholars tested advanced or proficient at a rate nearly 8 times higher than the other predominantly black public schools in Milwaukee. Provide your student with the best educational opportunity by visiting MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com. College bound, character strong.
Hi there, this is Pastor Richard D. Shaw of the St. Matthew Civic Church, encouraging you to vote in this upcoming election. Your vote is your power. Every ballot counts and matters. Your vote shapes the future and can impact generations to come. Don't wait, get engaged, and get to the polls. Voting is not just your right, it's your opportunity to impact your community and inspire others. So rally your friends and family and let's create the change we want to see. Vote early or vote the day of. Just vote and be heard.
Check out Jammin' with Juice, where it's amazingly juicy.
I'm going to tell y'all straight up, though. Y'all little brothers, y'all little sisters, y'all doing good. I don't think y'all know how good y'all doing it.
Thank you.
Because it's hard to get the young people to talk about these important issues.
Like, let's say you washing your body, you washing your hair, you wash your face, you cleaned your ears, you got behind them ears, you brushed your teeth, your makeup off, you done exfoliated, you done shaved. Why not brush your teeth in the shower? Why not use the bathroom in the shower? As we wrap up the show with a bow, I'm flaming, bitch. You was looking up to Steve Harvey.
Yeah. He was a positive black man. I feel
it.
Had a good show. He had some swag.
He was a music teacher.
You
love music.
Yeah. Shoot, he was messing around with the principal. Like, come on now.
He was playing.
Yeah. He's a king of comedy. This man doing it. I want to be like Steve. What's up, my jammer?
What's up, guys? You know what? I just want to say you guys are the best thing rocking at 12 noon. You guys just bring so much energy to 12 o'clock. I don't even want to eat my lunch because I want to hear what Big Damn and Naughty you gotta say.
You sitting at the crib, you watching TV, and your life's passing you by. You keep procrastinating over and over. Maybe I'll go to school next year, maybe next month. No, do it right now. You can do it after work, and you can do it before work. Just do whatever you need to do to graduate. There is definitely a line when it comes to just enhancing your beauty versus like completely altering your entire body in more ways than one to look completely different.
From the 414 to everyone across the globe, Jammin' with Juice is here for you. Check out Jammin' with Juice daily on YouTube.
Well, we've got a bunch of accidents to deal with right now. First of all, 94 eastbound at St. Paul Avenue. Left lane is blocked with a crash. Just a little bit further on from that, the 25th Street on-ramp to 94 eastbound got another accident there. And one more at 13th Street with the two left lanes blocked. So really causing some hefty delays through that area. 894 eastbound to northbound 4394. We do have the left lane blocked with a crash there as well. So you want to be extra careful no matter where you go this afternoon. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, breezy, cooler, mostly cloudy, some rain coming down with a low of 46. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 55. Book a bay for just $35, Monday through Thursday. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Kyle Wallace. The Green Bay Packers took a tough loss on Sunday to divisional rival, the Detroit Lions, falling 24-14. The Packers are now off this week for a bye week, but will return next week as they prepare for another divisional rival, the Chicago Bears. The Milwaukee Bucks were in Cleveland last night as they took on the Cavaliers without star player Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Bucks were looking to end their 5-game losing streak. Damian Lillard went for 36 points, but that was not enough as the Bucks fell to the Cavs 116-114, extending their losing streak to 6 games straight. Now the Bucks on the season are 1-6 after that loss. The Bucks do look to bounce back this Thursday night as they host the Utah Jazz at Pfizer Forum. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. and can be heard on our sister station, 620 WTMJ. This True Sports Update was brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. It's funny. So now the talking text line is like half Trump, half Harris, right? I hate him. I hate her. This, that. Trump to win, Harris to win. Like, yeah. it's just weird what it brings out in people. It's just amazing. I just find it amazing. Selfies. What do you say now? It's about the disrespect, the intentional disrespect. Was Trump able to vote in the election? Yes, he was able to vote because I don't think he's been convicted of a felony. And it depends on the state you live in as to whether or not they let you vote. So, didn't it take like 1 or 2 days for the votes to be counted in the last election? Yeah, it did. And be patient. Take it easy. It ain't the end of the world. Like, take it easy. So just so you know, I am watching ABC News. I'm watching WISN.com, locally, Channel 12. I'm watching, what is this, BBC International. I'm watching MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News. And so the totals are starting to come in. The first results are starting to come in. Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, South Carolina, Vermont, Virginia, they're all closed. They got about 11%. For president in Indiana, it's 63.6% Trump with 11%. That can change dramatically because, well, it's only 11% of the vote. So we see what's going on. 833-212-1017 is the number. The caller, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Good. Favorite.
Okay, hang on. Hold on. First of all, your phone keeps breaking up. I only heard the beginning of your word, so you might want to get somewhere where we can hear you.
Give me 1 second. Let me speak.
All right.
Is that a little better?
Much better.
All right.
What's up?
And salutations, my brother.
Thank you.
Ironic that you would be playing one of the greatest R&B groups of all time and one of my favorite new edition on a glorious day like today, because right after this is over with, we'll get a chance to go back to critiquing your takes on fantastic groups from the 90s and seeing which ones you like and do not like.
To do that. You'll try.
Oh! I'm excellent at doing it. You know that.
Try.
But how's your day going? And what number were you when you voted today?
I didn't vote today. I voted early, so I voted a while ago. Okay. If you was looking at my social media, I put my little sticker on there saying I voted early. I know you don't follow me. That's all right. That's right. I know you're not a real
social media.
Real people do social media, but that's okay. That's all right.
Well, you sound that's very millennial of you, my brother.
Even though I'm your elder, but that's okay.
That's what I say. You're more.
It's really not
than me in that way.
It's really not. The people that invented it were baby boomers. So I don't really understand where that's coming from. You just trying to bash me? You trying to make me feel bad on election day?
No, I'm actually calling with good tidings, my brother.
So did you listen to the Donald? Did you listen to the Donald Trump Jr. Interview?
I wouldn't dare.
No, I just interviewed
on a day like today.
I just interviewed.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Well, since
I thought you said you listened to my show.
I have other things in my life, so
Absolutely
I don't
not.
listen to
Don't
you
just
every
stop.
second
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You can't just stop in the middle of your day and call and act like ain't nothing happened for the last hour and 40 minutes, and then all of a sudden pretend like you're going to talk about something when something as important as the son of the person running in the Republican Party called here and said, I want to talk to Dr. Ken, and you missed it.
I sometimes call just to say hello and congratulations on your interview. I'm sure you did a great job.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I call to check on you, my brother.
Oh, that's what we're doing?
And say hello. And that's today, that's what we're doing. Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
We both made our choice, and
I appreciate
we both mean this community well.
And in the end, regardless of who wins, we still need to make sure this community does well.
That's the second to the end. You know, the end for me, nobody better not bother you, my brother.
Well, I'm not worried about it, so.
I know you ain't, but you got brothers here. That's all I got to say, and enjoy the rest of the day. And the last thing I always say, drive safe, my brother.
All right, love you, brother. Take care.
Love you back, man.
833-212-1017 is the number. MSNBC, Obama is saying it and other people are saying it. We're not going to know who won tonight. You know that, right? I'm going to be on until 11 o'clock tonight, and we're not going to know. I don't think we're going to know. Personally, I think that's okay. Do you want to get it fast or you want to get it right? I want to get it right. Right? And so we have to understand those are the things that we're going to have to watch out for. We're going to have to look for not voter fraud, but information that's going to be put out that's not going to be accurate. So make sure you pick the source for your information. Like right now, you need to pick the source for your information. I'm looking at the Associated Press. It's national. You can scroll through and see all of the 2024 U.S. elections, president, Senate, House, governor, and ballot measures. They're all there, and you can scroll through. All you have to do is refresh it, and then it'll give you all the information you need. Well, who's open, who's closed, who's running, all those things. And so they've got live results. There are many places. My suggestion is that you pick a legitimate news agency because in the end, they're getting their numbers from other places, right? That's electronic, and then they're reporting it. So it's not like they're making it up as they go along. It's not like they're calling something. You know, everybody has their decision desk that's going to be looking at things when they calculate and figure out whether or not the person that's behind can overcome the lead. And once they decide that the person can't, they're going to call the race. But there's an official desk at election headquarters, right, that calls a federal election. And so we just got to wait, and then it's going to be confirmed, and then we'll have ourselves a president.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, our first Truth Summit was a great success, and if you missed this exclusive roundtable, we got great news for you. We'll be broadcasting the Truth Summit on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th from 6 to 8 p.m. I was joined by Sherwin Hughes, Jason Fields, and State Senator Dora Drake for a live debate on the state of education policy and politics in Black Milwaukee. Again, Truth Summit broadcast Tuesday, November 5th between 6 and 8 on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
What are some of the things that we need to really focus on to get our fair share of these opportunities, i.e. access to capital?
You know, it's very important to always think about building a strong business plan, understanding the financial parameters around what you're trying to accomplish, building great networks and great relationships so you can have partnerships and building out your dream. And then finding a good financial partner like Old National to help really orchestrate your vision of the organization. And then, as you know, DT, you wouldn't be where you're at because you're phenomenal, doing great work. And then you have to really have to go to work. If you have that dream, you have that vision, the business plan, the financial piece, then you have to really work at it and keep building.
Learn more about the Old National Bank Small Business Empowerment Loan by visiting oldnational.com/small business or contact a small business banker at Old National Bank.
Make Milwaukee work for you. 1MKE provides easy-to-use information on local, state, and federal programs that can save you money and improve your well-being. Discover events you can attend to get involved in your community and find nonpartisan resources to help you make your voting plan for the upcoming election. 1MKE envisions a future where every Milwaukee resident understands how being civically engaged can help us create a healthier, stronger city. Because together, we are one Milwaukee. Learn more at 1mke.org.
The WIAA football playoffs is here. We have a big Level 3 matchup this Friday night as the number 1 seeded Marquette Hilltoppers take on the number 2 seeded Bayport Pirates. The football action kicks off at 7 p.m. on 1017 The Truth. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices and sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Leff's Lucky Town, Boyle Frederickson Intellectual Property Law, and Marquette University High School.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Make sure you check out the Truth Summit. We're going to have a couple hours of that. We're going to be talking about some things, education, politics, and all that stuff. And then at 8 o'clock, from 8 till 11, we'll be simulcasting the 1017 The Truth and 620 WTMJ broadcast for Decision 2024. See what's going on. Look at the live results. We got some polls that have already been closed. We were talking about it. In a few minutes, in about 13 minutes, we're going to have Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, South Carolina, Vermont, Virginia. Those eastern states are going to be closing. So Indiana, 10% of the vote is in. The Republican is leading for governor in the state of Indiana. Georgia exit polls are saying the economy is the number one topic of people. And I've been seeing that throughout the day, that the topic that's on people's minds is not abortion. It's not the border or immigration. It's the economy. That people are paying too much. Those that are middle class, inflation really didn't affect them the way that people think. Inflation really didn't drive them to have to figure out a way to pay for food and figure out a way to pay for gas and figure out a way to get to work and figure out a way to buy clothes and send your kids to school. They didn't have to do all that. But those that are making less than a certain amount, $50,000, $40,000, are struggling just to do what they normally did. So to have to cut back when you're already cut back is tough. And so the exit polls, I know they said Georgia, that's the number one thing, and I've seen it in other states as well tonight, that the exit polls are showing that the economy is something that is on everybody's mind, be it Democrat or Republican. So it's going to be an interesting night. It's going to be a long night. I'm going to go try to find me something to eat, go feed my face, and then get back at 8 o'clock and really dive into the things that are going on. The impact of tonight's election is going to impact foreign policy. It's going to impact education. It's going to impact our schools. It's going to impact colleges. It's going to impact business, manufacturing, STEM, AI, everything. Matter of fact, on Friday, we've got Dr. Robert Wall, who's coming in from Concordia University, Wisconsin, computer science department, and we're going to be talking about AI. We're going to be talking about, now that this election is over, I hope we got it counted by by Friday. We're going to talk about what the future of that looks like. What are the next 4 years, 8 years going to look like? Baby boomers are that generation. We talk about millennials that grew up with technology 100% ingrained in their lives. What about boomers who went from no technology to low technology to what we have today? Because there's this assumption that boomers don't use technology when, in fact, they do. They use it to talk to their grandchildren, their children out of town, all that stuff. So they know how to use Zoom and Teams and all that stuff. Creation Muse, and I don't know if this is true, But I'm just repeating what they said. Under Florida law, if a voter has an out-of-state conviction, Florida will defer to that state's laws on how a felon can regain his or her voting rights. For Trump, that means he will benefit from a 2021 New York law that allows people with felony convictions to vote, as long as they're not serving a term of incarceration at the time of election. Makes sense. And so Trump voted. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that. If that is true, then that means that he was able to vote. So he voted, even though he was convicted. So there you go. Interesting. Decision 2024. We've been talking about this the entire time, the last year. We've been talking about all the things that have been happening. And now the electoral map is now set at 0. So the first polls are closed. You set the electoral map at 0, and whoever reaches 270 first wins the presidency. It's kind of that basic. Some states give you all of them. Some states give you the percentage that you win. Some states, and that's it. It's all or none. And so it'll be interesting to see. It will be very interesting to see. The first polls have closed, and the totals are starting to come in, and so it'll be interesting. Arizona exit poll, abortion should be legal or illegal. 67% said it should be legal. That's from MSNBC. President Biden, job approval, 57% disapprove in Arizona, 43% approve. So it's interesting. I find it interesting that MSNBC uses green for approve and then gold for disapprove. That's kind of disingenuous. It should be red or green, but anyway. So it's interesting. Many of these things, like, literally really don't matter, right? Many of these things really don't matter, because in the end, the only thing that's going to count is your vote. So if you haven't gotten out to vote, you still have another hour to get in line. You have time to register and vote. Make it count. And it's important that you do this for the future of your family, of your community, of your state, and of this country. Also, check out Truth Summit for the next couple hours, and I'll be back at 8 o'clock and rolling until 11 with election results right here. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Truth Summit is next. We're going to keep going all day long till 11 o'clock, an extended version for Decision 2024, so make sure you hang out. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you. Thank you to all the callers. Thank you to those who text. It's important. I'll be tracking the talk and text line tonight on 620 WTMJ. So if you want to hit us, you can still text us at 833-212-1017. I don't know if we'll be on chat. I don't know if we'll be on that, but you can actually go to 620 WTMJ's page and then watch, and then we'll be on there live. So God bless. Take care. I'm not out. I'm just on later.